Now let me delete all these things and let me write something like this. We have a data type called integer. We have the data type called integer. Hello? Supriti, you are able to hear me?
Fine.
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's take the integer data type. Integer. So let's say x is equal to, I am putting some value 2147 48 36 47. Okay, so this is the value I am trying to store. So let's see what it is going to print. X value is equal to, I am printing x. And let's see what happens if I print system.debug x value is equal to, or I'll take one more thing, integer y is equal to this value plus 1 I am adding. Please look at here, this value plus 1 I am adding. Now system.debug y value is equal to plus y. Now let's see what the output we will be getting. Save, run the program, run the test. Okay, test is successful. So now let's go ahead and see what is the outcome here. Debug logs, log viewer. So if you look at here, x and y values, please see this. X value is whatever we have given, but y value is what negative it came. See this, y value is what negative, but x value is fine. X value is fine, but y value is negative. So why like this? So we need to understand here what is happening. If you look at here, let me take the program. If you look at here, this is the program we have written. This is the program we have written. Okay, this is the program what we have. So if you look at here, integer x is equal to, this is the value I am storing, and when I print, I got the same value. But integer y is equal to, same value I have taken, plus 1 I added, then I got something else. I got negative number, and that is also different. So why like this? Any idea, Suprit, Shiva? Any idea?
No idea.
Okay. So if you see here, integer range is this one, 2147, 2147, 48, 36. So let me give the integer range. Integer range is, it is a 4 bytes. Integer means 4 bytes. 4 bytes. And range is equal to, from this value to this value. This is the range. So therefore, if you look at here, so what is the maximum value you can store? You can store up to 47. For 47, if you add one value, then it will give in the negative. For 47, if you add one value, then it will give negative value. So there is a life cycle, integer life cycle, It is going to take 45 minutes to explain, but instead of that, I'll tell you the shortcut. I'll tell you the shortcut. Let me print one more value, integer. Let's say a is equal to this one plus I am adding 4430 something. Then system.out.debug a value is equal to plus a I am printing. Now look at this, what is the output for this? Look at this, what is the output for this? So it's very difficult for you, even though I explained the life cycle and all, so you cannot calculate it. It's very difficult. So that's why let me tell you the shortcut. How to find out this value. How to find out this value. So let me run this first and get the results. So by using shortcut, let's see whether you are able to arrive the values or not, or whether we are able to arrive the results or not. Test program or run test. So you will be having some negative value for G also. Logs, debug logs. Okay, logs debug. Now a value. So x value is fine, y value is fine, we already seen. Now a value is this much. How do I get all these things? How do I get all these things? That's the question. Okay, so look at here. Whenever you have something with the integer, whenever you have something like this with the integer, then you need to follow shortcut. So the shortcut is step 1. This value is nothing but what? So if you look at here, cal C. So this is a big number, so you require cal C. This one plus 43050. So this is nothing but this value. So this is nothing but 214752, 214752, 6697, 6697. This is the value. Okay, fine. So in the step 1, what you do is that, you need to take the range. Okay, let me take the scientific calculator. 2 power 36. What is the 2 power 36 value? 2 power 36 value. What is the 2 power 36 value? This is the value. 2 power 36 value is nothing but this one. So therefore, so if you see here, integer range is 4 bytes. 4 bytes means 32 bits. 4 bytes means 32 bits. So therefore 2 power 32. What is 2 power 32? If you see here, 2 power, where is the power function? So here we don't have power function. Let me go to statistical. Yeah. So if you look at here, I think this is fine for us, x power y. So 2 power 32 is equal to this much. If you look at here, so 2 power or power of 2 comma 32. So why I am writing 32? Because integer range is 4 bits. So that is nothing but 4294, 4294, 4294, 9672, 9672 and 96. This is the value. This is the value. Now if you look at here, So let the calculator be available. So in the step 1, what you will do is that you need to divide this given number. Please see the conclusion directly. This is the given number. You need to divide this number with this value. You need to divide with this value. This you need to divide this one. So how many times? 0 times. Because it's a less value, right? So 0 times. So what is the results? This is the results, or sorry, this is the 0. And the remainder is how much? This is quotient. This is the results. And remainder becomes, remainder is how much? Remainder is equal to whatever we have here. Whatever we have here. This is the step 1. Next, step 2 is check. Step 2. Okay. Or now check. Now check. Is this remainder less than this one? Is this remainder this one? Yes. Then do step 2. So what is the step 2? So step 2 is paste this value and have minus for this before and have this value, get this remainder. Now check the value. What is the value? So minus this one and plus this one. What is the result? So if you look at here, this is the results. 2, 2, 1, blah, 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 blah. So what we got for A? So if you look at here A, this is what the results we got. 2147 440 599. That is how you can calculate. So therefore result is equal to minus 2147 minus 2147 440 599. That's the results. That's how you can calculate. Now you can take a big number and see. You can take one big number and calculate this one and see whether it works or not. So now integer s is equal to, you can take some number. Now you can tell me whatever number you want. Let's say I'll take something. So let's say I'll take 14, 5, 8, and this one is 4. This is a number and I'm displaying system.out.debug s is equal to our s value. This is a shortcut. Majorly in the top companies, this kind of questions they are asking. But this is in the programming, not in the, generally Salesforce they will not ask, but if you go as a fresher for top companies like Google and all, they will ask these kind of questions. Okay, that's fine. Now let me print that value and see. And through calculation, let's see whether we are getting it or not. Let's say Apex classes, edit. So I'm displaying the S value. Look at the S value. What is the S value we will be getting? Save this. What happened? compiler invalid. Okay, so it is saying invalid number because of the reason is, so you cannot store that much. So you can say something 428122 something. You can write something like this, or otherwise you can do the type casting. INTEGR integer of this much. Still it is not allowing. So the better way is take this value plus add something. So let's say this is 14888 something. So now if you want to add one more value, you can add. Twelve and 12. So this is fine. Now see what the S value will be getting and how it works. So sum of all these three things is nothing but, if you look at here, sum of all these things is nothing but this much. 4543. This is nothing but 4543. 4543090 So that is the results. Okay, so we'll see what is the results we will be getting and how to get the results. Save. Now run the program, and we need to check whether our formula works or not. Run test. Okay, now go and see the results. Logs. Okay, API viewer. Now go and see S value. S value is nothing but this much. S value is nothing but this much. Now let's see how to get that results. So through our formula, whether we are able to get or not. So what are we trying to show here? If you look at here, if you go to the program, Apex classes, program number 2. This is the value we are trying to store, right? So therefore take that value and put it here. And you need to divide with this. So how many times? I think one time. So if I divide with one time, so what the results I will be getting? This much of results. Now if you look at here, what is the remainder? What is the remainder you will be getting? This one minus this one. So this is equal to 2481 23651. So here the condition you need to check like this. Condition should be if remainder less than, or if remainder less than this value, like that you will be checked. Yeah. If remainder less than or equal to, or if remainder less than or equal to this much, then same results. So if remainder less than or equal to this much, then then or if remainder greater than, let me put this one. If remainder greater than this one, yeah. If remainder greater than, then do this step. So if you look at here, this value whatever we got previously, the value whatever we got previously, this much, this one, is greater than this one. That's why we did the second step. Now if you look at here, this value, now what is the result? 248123651. Is this less than this one? Is this less than this one? So page
Yes, sir.
Not less than, right?
It is less than starting with how many digits?
2, 1, right? Then it will go 2 times, I think. Take 2 times. 2 times. So this value into 2. Take 2 times. It is 90. So it is waste. So therefore, I think something is x is minus this one. If you calculate 248123651. Yeah, that is correct only. So therefore now look at here, this value and this value. Value greater than let me add minus this one. Okay, so in the previous case it was yes, so now it is yeah. So if it is greater than, so if you look at here, this is greater than this value. So that's why same value will continue. You don't need to do the step 2. So therefore, result is equal to remainder. So what is the remainder? So this is the remainder. Result is equal to remainder. So that is the remainder. So that is what you got here. 248123615. Like that you need to calculate. Like that you need to calculate. Any questions here? Any questions?
Here it is less or not?
This is less, right?
No, not that one. No, whatever the remainder we got, it is less. Okay, right. You're right.
Right now this is greater than. So 2484 dot this and all is greater than this one.
No, it is not greater than. It is less than. It is only 9 digits. So that part is 10 digits. Is there?
One second.
Now this is right. I think as it is less than that, it will not go to step 2. It will stop here.
Yes. Okay. So this is how you can calculate the values. So anyway, I'll be giving these values here. I haven't typed this. Yeah. In this example, it's already available here. If you look at here, so in this example, it's already available. So this is the generalized formula. So you are going to divide with 2 power n. So you will be getting something. Check if the remainder greater than this one. If no, then remainder is equal to answer. If yes, do step 2. That is what we did. If you look at here, try that. Yeah, if you look at here, so I just written generalized. So 2 power 32. So 2 power 32 means that is what it is. So we are dividing and we are getting the remainder. We are checking remainder greater than this one. Then if yes, then do step 2. If no, then result is equal to remainder. This works for all the cases. Now if you look at here, look at this program. So byte is what 8 bits, short is what 16 bits, integer 32 bits. So long is 64 bits. If they take long, what happens? You need to divide with what? 2 power 64. You need to divide with 2 power 64. If it is a byte, 2 power 8. If it is an integer, 2 power 16. In Apex, integer is 32, that's why 2 power 32. Like that you need to change the values. That's why I have given generalized formula here. If you look at here, that's why I have given generalized formula here. That's why I have given generalized formula here. Okay, so that's how you can do it. So therefore, generalized formula is, you can recap one. So you are going to divide with the 2 power n, the given value. So you will be getting some remainder. Check if remainder is greater than this one. If no, remainder is equal to answer. If yes, then do step 2. That's it. Okay, now let's go back. So till now we have seen how to calculate the values. Now let me see, if you look at this program, logic and the test case is in the same program. Please see here, this is the logic, and to test this I have written test method. So logic and test methods are in the same program. How do I split it? So because you will be writing the logic, I will be testing. That's obvious, right? Development is done by someone else, and testing is done by someone else. Assume that you are writing the logic, and how do I test your program? You are writing the logic, and how do I test your program? So let's see this one now. So you are writing the program. So public static, let's say you are writing the at each test, don't write now because you are not testing the program. So you are just writing the logic. Public class P2, then public class P2, then you can declare some variables, something to understand the concept. Now you are declaring some variables, let's say integer A, next integer B. Okay, now I am writing a constructor. One second. So I just taken two variables. So here the logic is it is very simple. Assume that you are writing the program and I will be testing it. So you are writing the program integer, then I will be writing a constructor public P2. This is the constructor. Then I am assigning some values. A is equal to 120 and B is equal to let's say 240. Some values I assign. Then I will be writing some method. So this is a constructor. So if you look at here, I have written a method called P2 with the class name. If you write a method name with the class name, then that is called a constructor. If you write a method name with the class name, then this particular method is called a constructor. I am repeating this conclusion again. Here, method name, this is a method, but method name is what? Class name. If method name is class name, then that is called constructor. Okay, now I am writing normal method, public void display. What this method will do? This method displays A value and display B value. system dot debug a value is equal to plus a. Then system dot debug b value is equal to plus b value. Assume that this is how I have written the program. So this is a normal method. This is a normal method because of the reason is the name is not the class name. If method is having name same as class name, then that method is called a constructor. If method name is same as class name, then that is called a constructor. So why to write constructor and all we'll see coming. But right now that is not target. The target is I am writing the program. And how you will test it. That is what the question is. Now look at here, some errors are there. Let's see what are the errors. Integer a comma b saying method does not exist or incorrect signature. In line number 11. System SYSTEM debug DEBUG debug. Okay, now click on save. DEBUG debug. Yeah. So now it is successful. Just save this program. You cannot run this program because it is not having test method. It is not having test case to run this. So therefore, this is how I write the program. Now you will be testing. How you will test? You can write one more Apex class. You can write one more new Apex class. Okay, so you are testing it. So at easy test you need to have. Then public class, you can write some class name P2 testing. Okay, then you need to write a method public static test method void ABC. You can write some method. Method name can be anything. Then see this. What is the class name you are having? P2. So create an object for that. So how do I create the object for your my class? P2 O1 is equal to new P2. So once you create the object, you can access the method. So there is a display method there. So call the display method. Now close this. Now run this program. Run the test script. So it is run successfully. Now go and see the results. So log viewer. Okay, this is fine. Leave it. Here we don't have results, so go and see them in the next file. Here also nothing is there. So a value let me look at the program once. P2 testing. So if you see here P1, this is how it is. Let me take the print screen. So this is what the P2 program and the P2 test program. If you look at the test program, this is what the P2 testing. Let me take the print screen and keep it here. So what are we trying to do here? At easy test I have written. So public class P2 testing, then public static test method, then I am creating object for P2 class. I am creating a object for P2 class. So whenever we create the object, then constructor will be called automatically. So that means I am creating object here. Whenever we create the object, then constructor will be called automatically. That means this will be called automatically. So what it is having, A is equal to 120, B is equal to 240 is there. After that I am calling display method. That means this will be called. That means this will be called. So what this method will do? A is equal to 120, B is equal to 240 will display. So that's the difference between normal method and constructor. Normal method you need to call. So if you look at here, display is a normal method. You need to call with the help of object. But constructor will be called automatically whenever you create the object. So if you look at here how to create the object, this is how you will create the object. So if you don't know how to create the object, this is what the syntax is. Class name, how to create the object. Class name, object name is equal to new class name. This is what the syntax. How to create the object, class name. What is the class name? P2. Then object name. Object name you can give anything. Then new class name. What is the class name? P2. So therefore whenever you create the object, the constructor will be called automatically. So here there is a constructor, so that will be called automatically. Now this is a normal method. Normal method you cannot call, normal methods will not call automatically. So you need to call the normal methods with the help of object. So what is the object here? O1. So O1 will display. So this will be called. Now let's see the output. Run test. Now if you look at here, so you see all the things, whether it is passed or failed. So all the cases the methods are passed. So that means everything is fine. Now where the logs are. So let me delete it. The problem is username is not there here, that's why it is not recorded. So let me add the username, because once you reach the maximum number of logs, then it will close automatically or it deletes automatically. Check the user. Now go to the develop, update classes. So now run the P2 testing. Now run the PD testing. So it is run successfully. So now go to the logs and see. Now go to the logs and see. So you should be getting A is equal to 120, B is equal to 240. Let's see this. See here, A value is equal to 120 and B value is equal to 240. That's what it is. So in this program, what are we trying to do? Please try to understand. Till now what we did, we put everything, that means logic and test script in the same program. But in the real time that is not. Logic will be written by developer and test script will be developed by one more guy. Okay, so in the real time it is not like that. Logic will be written by someone else. That means let's say I am writing logic and you will be testing. So what is the logic I have written? I have created a class, inside that I have created a constructor. This is called a constructor. So when can I say method is a constructor? When method name is same as class name. When method name is same as class name, then call it as constructor. Why I need to write the constructor? Constructor you no need to call through object. It will be called automatically whenever object is created. So what is the advantage of having the constructor? Let's say if you look at here, there is a variable AB. So before you use it, you want to initialize with some values. before you use A and B, you want to initialize with some values. That means whenever object is created, let's have some value. Then you will go for the constructor. Then I have written a normal method. Now you are writing the test script. So these are fixed all the times. Whenever you write the test script, it is fixed all the times. So whatever I put in the box, those are fixed. Now what do you want to test? You want to create an object for this. Create the object. How do I create the object? Class name, object name is equal to new class name. That's it. Now call the method. How do I call the method? Or whenever you create the object, constructor will be called automatically. That means this creation of object also calls this method or this constructor. Now A will be 120, B will be 240. Now you have a display normal method. If you want to call that, then you need to call explicitly because that is a normal method. So call this one. When you call this one, then A value and B value will be displayed. That's why A is equal to 140, B is equal to 120, B is equal to 140, you can see. That's all about this one. Any questions here? Any questions here? If no questions, then we'll see some other concepts. Suprit, Shiva, any questions?
No, good.
Okay. Now let me, yesterday I typed some of the programs, let me run the programs quickly because it's taking too much of time. So let me take those programs directly and run those. If I am typing, then it is taking too much of time. So these are the programs yesterday we executed. So now look at this program. This is what the program I am trying to explain now. So this is one beautiful program which covers most of the situations. That means I will be having some constructor, that, these and all. Let's see how it works. What are we trying to do here? In this program, the aim of this program is to understand how methods, that, these and all works. Please look at here. Sorry, I need to open the notepad. What is the aim of this program? If you look at here, the aim of this program is, so you have a class. In the class, you have a test method. Okay, you have a static method. You have a static block. You have a non-static block. You have a normal method. You have a constructor. So when is executed what? That is what we need to understand. Please look at here. This is very much important. This covers most of the scenarios. Okay, if you look at here, this covers most of the scenarios. I have written a class called P3. Then I have written a test method. Then there is a static method. If you look at here, there is a test method ABC and there is a test method ABC1 also. When this will be executed, when this will be executed. That is what we need to understand. So there is a test method ABC, then there is a test method ABC1 also. That means you can write n number of test methods. That's what the meaning is. You can write n number of test methods. If we have n number of test methods, this will be executed. Then there is a static block. If you look at here, this is not a method. If you look at here, this is not a method. It is just a static block. Okay, if you look at here, it's not even static block. It's just a normal block. That means non-static block. It's a normal method or normal block. That means non-static block. Then I am writing normal method, public void display. Then I am writing a constructor. So this is what the constructor. Then if I execute this program, what is the output? If I execute this program, what is the output? That is the question. If I execute this program, what is the output? That is the question. Please see this. Try to understand this one. If I execute this program, What is the output? Okay, now whenever you execute this program, it checks is there any static block, or let me put it in this way. Please understand the conclusions. These conclusions are very much important. This is where your programming stands. Whenever you execute the program, it checks is there any static method, static test method. Yes, there is a static test method. So whenever you execute the program, it checks is there any static test method. Yes, there is a static test method. How many are there? 2 are there. How many are there? 2 are there. So first it will take first method. And keep it in the stack. Now it checks is there any static blocks. Yes, there is a static block. So that will be executed. So therefore SB will be displayed. Static block will be displayed. So here system.debug, I just written SB, static block will be displayed. Fine. That's it. Now it will come here. Please see this. Whenever we execute this program, it will check is there any static test method? Yes. If yes, then it checks is there any corresponding static block? Yes. So static block will be executed first. Then this method will be executed. Static block will be executed first. Then this method will be executed. So what is the method output? Static test method 1 will be displayed. Okay, next. So is there any another test method? Yes, there is another test method. So before execution starts, it checks is there any static block? Yes, there is a static block. So that will be displayed, or that will be executed. After execution of that, this will be executed. So what is this? SM-test2. This is what the output is. So in this scenario, non-static blocks are not executed, non-normal methods are not executed, constructors also not executed. When those will be executed, we will see again. I am repeating this again. Whenever you execute the program, it will check is there any static test method? Yes. If yes, before the execution starts, it executes the static block. Then it executes the test method. Now it will check is there any one more test method? Yes. Before this execution starts, it will go and execute the static block. Then it will execute the static test method. This is what the output. Now let's see whether we got this output or not. Save the program and run the program. P3 and run the test. Let's see whether we got the results or not. Let's see whatever I told, whether we got it or not. Sorry. So look at here. First static block is displayed. Then what else? Test method is displayed. Test method 1 is displayed. Then again static block is displayed. Then test method 2 is displayed. That means static block is executed. Then test method 1 is executed. Then static block is executed. Then test method 2 is executed. That's about this one. Now let's take another scenario. Where we create the object. So here I just now explained how the outcome and all. Now let me create one more program where we create the object. Then let's see output. Let's see the output. So what is the output of this program? If you look at the output of this program, so I have written a class and there is a test method. There is one more test method. There is a static block, there is a non-static block, there is a normal method, there is a constructor. Same as this one. But inside the static block I am creating the object. Good morning. Okay, so inside the static block I am creating the object and all. Now we need to understand the output all these steps. See this. Whenever we execute the program, I said it checks is there any test method, static test method. Yes. If yes, before this execution starts, which will be executed? Static block will be executed. So therefore, static block will be displayed. After that, this execution starts. So inside that, what is there? I am creating an object. Whenever we create an object, which will be called, the constructor will be called automatically. So do I have a constructor here? Do I have a constructor here? I have a constructor here. So therefore that will be executed. So now object creation is over. Now if you see here over.demo, that means I am calling the normal method. So that will be executed. So therefore demo will be displayed. After that, what is there? I am just displaying static method test. There is just a message. That's it. Now again it will check, is there any test method? Static test method, yes. If yes, before this execution starts, what happens? Static block will be executed. And there is a non-static block also. Remember this, whenever you create the object, non-static block will be executed first, followed by the constructor. Yes. Please see this. I am just repeating the output again because I forgot to tell about the non-static block. Please see the conclusion. We are executing the program. It will check, is there any static test method? Yes. If yes, before this execution starts, it will go and execute the static block. So therefore, whatever there is the static block, that will be displayed. That's it. Now coming to here, inside the execution or inside the static block or static test method. Inside the static test method, what I am doing? I am creating an object. I already told, whenever we create the object, constructors will be executed automatically. Do I have the constructor? Yes. Okay. And before the constructor, it will also check, is there any non-static block? If yes, it will execute the non-static block, then it will execute the constructor. That means what? Whenever we create the object, it checks, is there any non-static block? If yes, then that will be executed. Then it checks, is there any constructor? If yes, that will be executed. So therefore, non-static block, yes, there is a non-static block, so that will be executed. Then, is there any constructor? Yes, there is a constructor, so therefore constructor will be executed. After that, I am calling the demo method. So demo method, that means it is a normal method, that's why I am calling it. So therefore that will be executed. Demo will be executed. After that, so there is a test method. I'm just displaying some message, static test method, like that I'm just displaying method that will be executed. That's it. Now, after completion of this static test method, it will check again, is there any one more static test method? Is there any one more static test method? Yes. If yes, then before this execution starts, it checks is there any static block? Yes. If yes, then that will be executed. After executing this, then this execution starts. So inside this method, what is there? I am creating a constructor. Whenever you create the constructor, then it will check is there any non-static block. If yes, then that will be executed. After executing non-static block, it will check is there any constructor. If yes, then constructor will be executed. After that, I am just displaying some message. The message is sm-test2. This is what the output of this program. That is how the order of the execution or order of the methods of the execution. If you have static block, non-static block, constructor, normal method, then test methods, how the order of the execution happens. This is what the order of the execution. Now, if you have any questions, you can ask me. Else we can go to the next program. Any questions? Supreet, Shiva?
No, good done. No, in constructor, hello?
Yeah.
In constructor, what are the values we initialize, can we change that later in the program? Or it is fixed? Whatever we initialize.
You can change it. Let's say in the previous program, what happened? A is equal to 120, B is equal to 240, right?
Okay.
You want to change a later point of time, right? That is what you were asking.
Yes.
Yeah, obviously it is possible.
Okay.
Once you create the object, right? Let's say you created the object. Now, assume you can take that program. Now you can say inside the normal method, you can say O1.a is equal to 222 you can assign.
Okay.
O1.b is equal to 333 you can assign. Key. The constructor is to have initial values.
Okay.
Please remember this. If you want to have some initial values in the variable, then you will go for the constructor. After initial values, if you want something, then after creating the object, you can do whatever you want.
Okay.
So this is about the this gives a lot of knowledge, because having a test method, having multiple test methods, having static block, having non-static block, having normal methods, constructors, all these things. When I have all these steps in my program, then when is executed what? That is what we need to understand. So if we have all in program, then it will check is there any test method. If test method is there, then it will, before executing the test method, it will execute the static block. Inside the test method, I am creating the object. So whenever we create the object, it will check is there any non-static block. If yes, then non-static block will be executed. After executing the non-static block, constructor will be executed. Then inside the method or inside the test method, I am calling the normal method. Normal methods always you need to call with the help of object. Then you are displaying the message. Then one more test method is there. So it will go and check is there any static block. Yes. It executes. Then I am creating the object. Whenever you create the object, non-static blocks, then followed by the constructor. Then again you are calling this one, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that is about the methods. Now, I just now explained about this program. I just want to show you again. I don't want to spend too much of time, but I can just go through this one quickly. So if you look at here, so we have different data types, right? Decimal 8 by 5. So 8 by 5 means what? Integer by integer, always integer. So that's why you will be getting 1. you will not get 1.6 and all. Integer by integer always results with integer. That's why you will get 1. Now if you look at here, this is the real number, this is the integer. So real number by integer always real number, so that's why you will be getting 1.6. And the real number by real number is the result is real number, that's why you will be getting 1.6. Now if you look at here, integer you have taken 8.5 real number by 5. Real number by integer result is real number, and the real number you are trying to store in the integer, that's why it is wrong. This is not possible. Yesterday's typecasting, do you remember? Integer you can assign to long, you can assign to decimal, you can assign to double, but double you cannot assign to integer. If you look at here, 8.0 by 5 means it's a 1.6. That's nothing but double. Double you are trying to store in the integer, that's why that is wrong. Okay, that's why that is wrong. Now, so if you look at here, if I say 45, by default it is an integer. But left side data type is what? Long. So how do I say, how do I tell to my computer, or how do I tell to my programming language, please take 45 as long. So if you want to tell to your programming language to consider 45 as long, after the number use L. After the number if you use L, then this 45 will be considered of type long. So obviously you are displaying 45 B, that means 45 will be displayed. Okay, so if you look at here, 5 by 0 is not possible, so you will be getting an exception called system.math exception divided by 0. So you need to remember the exception name. So when you divide the number by 0, you will be getting an exception called the divided by 0 exception. That's nothing but math exception. Next to 5.0 by 0, anyway that is also math exception. All these things are math exception because divided by 0 is not possible. Now, yesterday I explained this. Integer 45, long 55, decimal this and all. Now, A2 is equal to A1. What is A2? Long. What is A1? Integer. Integer I can able to store in the long. Yesterday's type conversion, please recollect it. That's why this is correct. A1 is equal to A2, wrong. Why? Because the reason is A1 is integer and A2 long. That means long I am trying to store in the integer, that's why this is wrong. That's why this is wrong. And if you want to make it correct, how do you do? Do the explicit typecasting. Do you remember yesterday's explicit typecasting? Into A1 is equal to, so this is integer of A2. So if you write like this, then it is correct. This is explicit typecasting. So if you don't want to do explicit typecasting, then you will be getting error. Okay, so this is correct. Now A3 is equal to A4. A3 is what? Double. And A4 is what? Decimal. So you can store decimal in the double. That's correct. Next, A4 is equal to A3. A3 means what? Double. And A4 means decimal. So double you are storing in the decimal. Both are correct because of the reason is double and decimal takes 8 bytes. Okay. So these are the simple steps for yesterday's execution. Nothing more than that. Now let me explain you this program. So if you look at here, 20 by 0, I said it is, you will be getting exception. Minus 20 by 0, you get exception. Now 20.5 by 0, it is a Java program. So this is a Java program, not. So if you look at here, if you look at what the difference between Apex and the Java, the difference between Apex and Java. So let me take these statements. So if you look at here, whether you divide natural number by 0 or real number by 0 or real number by real number, whatever it may be, all the times you will get error or all the times you will get the exception. Please see this. In Apex, whether you divide natural number by 0, whether you divide natural number by real number by 0 or real number by 0.0, whatever may be the situation, always you get exception. But in case of Java, look at this, 20 by 0, that means natural number by natural number, automatic exception. Minus 20 by 0, automatic exception. But if you have the real numbers, right, look at here, if you have the real numbers followed by 0 or divided by 0, then you will be getting infinite. It's not automatic exception. You will be clearly getting infinite. It's not automatic exception. That is in Java. So if you don't want to worry about the Java, leave it about this. In Apex, all the times you will get automatic exception. That's it. All the times you will be getting automatic exception. That's it. So this is what I explained morning. So what to do, all these things, integer, blah blah blah, and the formula, generalized formula I explained. So this is what one example I have given. If you want, you can go and practice. So anyway, I explained morning also. System.debug. This is what the value we have taken. If I display, then I will be getting same. If I add 1, then it will go to negative. Why it will go to negative, I told. If you try to store more value, then you will be getting error. Boolean. Boolean B means it displays true. Then I said one more data type called ID. ID, I said always it is 18 chars. If I give 15 chars, what happens? I said zeros will be added automatically. If you look at here, zeros will be added automatically. Then ID is maximum length is 18 characters. If I give 19 characters, what happens? You will be getting error. You will be getting error. So if you give 16 characters, no problem. So if you give 18 characters or 19 characters, it is going to give error because of the reason is it should be 18 characters. If you give 16 characters, if you are giving a 16 characters, then it is error. But if system is giving, then automatically 2 characters will be added. So that's why here it is error. Now if you look at here, this example just covers all the data types. What happens in case of integer, what happens in case of boolean, what happens in case of ID. ID 18 characters, it displays as it is. ID 19 characters, it gives error. ID 16 characters, it is going to give errors. So ID is always 18 characters length. Next, if you look at here, this is the constructors example. So how many are there? Types of variables. Types of variables we will see tomorrow. Okay, let me explain about this keyword. Please look at this one. You are writing the or I am writing the program here. If you look at here, this is the program I have written and you are testing. This is the program I am writing and you are testing. Please see the requirement. This is the program I am writing and you are testing. And this program aim is to explain this keyword, or this program aim is to explain how to use the constructors. This program aim is to explain how the constructors work, or what is the importance of this keyword. This program aim is how constructors works or how this keyword works. Okay, so if you look at here, in this program I have taken a variable In this program I have taken a variable. Next I have written a constructor. If you look at here, this constructor name is same as class name and it is not taking any parameters. If constructor is not taking any parameter, then it is called a zero argument constructor or default constructor. Please look at this one again. So here I have a method. This method name is same as class name. If method name is same as class name, then that is called a constructor. Okay. So if constructor is not taking any parameters, then it is called a zero argument constructor or default constructor. That's fine. Now come here. I have written one more method. I have written one more method which is same as class name. I have written one more method which is same as class name, but it is taking argument or it is taking parameter. If any constructor is taking parameter, then it is called a parameterized constructor. And if you look at here, this constructor name is same. This constructor name is same and it is same as class name. So this constructor is not taking parameters, this constructor is taking the parameters. This concept is called what? Polymorphism. Do you remember? If any method behaves differently at different situations, then it is called a polymorphism. If you look at here, this is having different logic. This is having different logic. This is having different logic and this is having different logic. That means this constructor works differently and this constructor works differently. So if anything works differently at different situations, then it is called a constructor overloading. Then it is called a constructor overloading. That means here we are trying to overload the constructor. And there is a normal method here. There is a normal method here. This is the logic I have written. So see this here, how many concepts are there? This program explains constructor overloading. This program explains how to write default constructor. This program explains how to write parameterized constructors. This program explains polymorphism. This program explains this keyword, and so on, so on, so. That means this is an example for almost 10 concepts. This is the best example for explaining 10 concepts. That's fine. This is something I have written like this. Now you are trying to test it. So what are you trying to test here? You just created an object. You just created an object. Now, okay, so whenever you create the object, what happens? It will check is there any non-static block. Do I have the non-static block? No. Whenever we create the object, it checks is there any non-static block. Is there any non-static block? No. Then it will check is there any constructor? Yes. And the two constructors are there. And the two constructors are there. So which one will be executed? While creating the object, am I passing any parameter? I am not passing any parameter. So if you are not passing any parameter, then default constructor will be executed. So therefore this will be executed. In this, what I am doing inside, I am saying this of 100. When I say this of 100, this means what? Constructor. For this constructor, I am passing 100. That means constructor with one parameter. Do I have constructor with one parameter? Yes. So therefore this will be executed. Please see the smartness here. Please see the smartness here. So what are you trying to do? You just created an object. Whenever you create the object, it will go and check, is there any non-static block? I don't have any non-static block. Is there any constructor? Yes, two constructors are there. So which will be executed? So if you look at here, while creating the object, did I pass any value? I did not pass any value. So therefore default constructor will be executed, or zero parameter or zero argument constructor will be executed. Inside the zero argument constructor, what is there? This of 100. This means what? Constructor. Constructor with one parameter. Constructor with one parameter means what? This will be executed. Okay, so it will come here. This dot A. This dot A means this one. This dot A means this one. So therefore here in this A 100 will be stored. This dot A is equal to 100. Now this dot display. So that means this display method will be called. So inside the display method, what is there? I am just trying to display a value. What is the a value? 100. So 100 will be displayed. That's it. So therefore, this keyword is used to call the normal method as well as parameterized constructors. This keyword is used to call the normal methods. Here I am calling the normal method, and here I am calling the parameterized constructor. So therefore, this keyword you can use it to call the normal method and parameterized constructors. That's all about this one. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Else we can stop here and we can continue tomorrow. Any questions you also please? You need to understand a lot. That's how the Apex is. It's a programming language. There will be too many things to learn. If you already know all these things, then you are great. So if you look at here, even here also they will talk all these things. Here also they will talk all these things. Apex programming guide. So I'll just go through quickly. So these are the concepts they explain. So they are talking about what? Yeah, how to write the blocks, how to write the constructors, see data types, string and all. Okay, so they are explaining what? Map, list, set. These are all what we discussed yesterday. Integer, case sensitive, constants, operators. This is what we discussed today. Then statements, do while. That is what we discussed yesterday. Access modifiers, public, all these things we discussed yesterday. Okay, interfaces we need to discuss tomorrow. This keyword, that is what I discussed just now. Super keyword, this keyword. Okay, so like this here also there is same. Only thing is that we are just discussing with the examples. Okay, so here also it will be same. So exception handling, these are all the different things we need to discuss. We'll continue tomorrow. Even here also you will see static variables, all these things. Static variables. So how to write the test program, how to run the test program, all these things are there. So Preet, are you okay? I mean, you asked yesterday, instead of we write the test method here, so generally business logic will be written and test method you can write it. If you want to call that one in the Visual Force, you can call it.
Okay.
Okay. So at least I am able to see it as the business logic and test program. Okay. Thanks, Preet.
Okay.
Got any questions?
So what is static exactly, Anna?
Okay.
Difference.
So static method or class?
Method.
Okay. So if you look at here, whenever so you need to understand the memory concept. You need to understand the memory concept. Okay, let me put it this way. Public, static, void, main. Assume that this is a method and it is having something. And there is a public void display. And it is having something. And assume that these are all there inside the class. Why we need to use static? That is what I am explaining now. Public. Try to capture this one because you need to spend a lot of time to understand all these things, but if you grasp or if you pick the conclusion, that is fine for me. So if you look at here, one method is static, one method is non-static. So when to make method as static? So I want to execute this program. If I want to execute this program, I need to load this program into memory, yes or no? If I want to execute this program, I need to load this program. I need to load this program into memory. I need to load this program into memory. So assume that, I need to load this program into memory. And when to load this into memory? Let's say if I have 100 methods. If I load all the 100 methods into memory, it's a memory mistake. What is the guarantee that all the methods I am going to use? If I have a class, then I might be having 100 methods. At any point of time, I will not use all the methods. I will use only specific methods. Fine. Now, if I want to execute this program, I need to load into the memory. Then, to load into the memory, I need to do something, right? Am I doing anything here? I am not doing anything here. To load into the memory, I need to do something, but I did not do anything. But still, I want to load into memory. So if you use the static keyword, then those methods or those blocks automatically loaded into memory. Loaded into memory. So here, this is a static block. So this automatically loaded into memory. Once it is loaded into memory, then it is available for execution.
Okay.
Once it is loaded into memory, it is available for execution. So execution starts from here. Inside this, what happens? We are creating the object. Let's say, how do I create the object? ABC01 is equal to new ABC. Now, if there is any constructor here, that will be loaded into memory. If there is any constructor here, then that will be loaded into memory. Because whenever we create the object, constructor will be called automatically. So therefore, this will be loaded into memory. Okay. Now, if I say o1.display, then this will be loaded into memory. Once it is loaded into memory, that means it is available for execution. Okay. So therefore, if you look at here, so if you look at it, if I am not making this as static, what happens? It is not available in the memory. If it is not available in the memory, then how execution starts? There should be some entry to start the execution. That entry we call it as static. By having static, this method will be loaded into memory automatically. Once it is loaded into memory automatically, then that will be available for execution. So this is available for execution. Then I am creating a constructor. Whenever you create the I am creating the object. Whenever you create the object, then this will be loaded into memory. Whenever you call the method, then this will be loaded into memory. So whenever it is loaded into memory, it is available for execution. That's the reason we use the static.
Okay, got it.
So there is a lot to explain on this because I need to explain memory types, heap memory, stack memory, all these things. then we need to discuss a lot, but we can study all these things in the Sun certification program. Okay?
Okay.
So, but for time being, you can remember that. So whenever you write some program, that program, something needs to be loaded to start the execution. Something needs to be loaded to start the execution. So therefore, generally, we make static for the main method. So that main method will be loaded into memory and available for execution. Once the execution started, then you can do whatever you want based on your statement. Rest of the things will be loaded into memory. Right?
Got it.
That's why even if you look at the program, whatever, this is the logic why static blocks executed automatically. Even if you look at this program, you ask a very good question, but there is a lot of explanation for that. Definitely it is 1 hour explanation, but I just given the conclusion. That's fine for you. Even if you look at this program, right? Even this program, right? What did I say? So whenever this class is, when we execute this class, it checks is there any static test method. If you remember, I use the word called static test method. Is there any static test method? If yes, it checks is there any static block. Because the reason is static block also loads in the memory automatically. Because of the reason is static block also will be loaded into memory automatically, and that is available for execution. So that's why this is executed automatically.
Okay.
That's why here also static block is executed automatically. Non-static block, it is not executing automatically. Whenever you create the object, that time only it will be loaded into memory. Non-static block, what happens? Whenever you create an object, right? Whenever you create an object, that time only non-static block will be moved to memory. That means that time only it is available for execution. That's why whenever you create the object, it will go and check if there is any non-static block. If yes, then it will push into memory. Once it is available in the memory, then it will be available for execution. That's why that is executed. Then it will check the constructor. Is there any constructor? Yes. If yes, then it will push to memory. That means it is ready. It is available for execution. That's why that is executed, and so on, so on. Now, if you have any questions, else we can stop here. Good, Shiva.
Fine. On.
Thank you. Bye.